I met a gypsy.
There's definitely like a curve. You know, I think a lot of people can feel it in the industry, that I think there's probably more money in it at the moment than ever in terms of like payouts for riders and, you know, TV deals and Feld and MX Sports Talk. Like, I didn't realize until the Davey Coombs podcast just how much they were at loggerheads for so long.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that's really bad for business.
Terrible.
You know, so you think about how long we've been living in that ecosystem, and it's like the last couple of years, sports made some pretty big strides. You got Jett, you got Hayden, new people coming into the broadcast team. You know, like, so it's really trending. So I just think it's like the best time that we are kind of it just seems like a good jumping off point, and you feel like a really good piece of that puzzle.
Yeah,
you know?
thanks. I'm super excited about it. And just being behind the scenes, and you're behind the scenes too, and seeing some of these numbers, viewership, and some of the sponsors that are coming in, the interest. We have the new manufacturers. We got Ducati, Triumph. So there's going to be more spaces because unfortunately, there is way more talent than there is money, or historically it's been that way in dirt bikes, right? I would love to see 1 through 22 making a comfortable living. You know, of course, right now it's more, money's more at the top. You know, if you're a top 15, 250 guy, you're maybe making 150, 250-ish, it's kind of middle of the road average factory rider. Top guys are making 500-ish from the team. And I would just love to see it to where there's just a little bit more opportunity, you know, because I think the thing about dirt bikes that makes it so difficult is it's not integrated into any type of school system, right? It's not like you're playing baseball after class or something like. So these kids are going, and especially now, like these kids are 6 years old at training facilities, homeschooled, grinding, and they're given everything up so young, and that's what I did. You make a decision. I made a decision before I ever really made a decision.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, most of these kids have no other. I didn't have any really other skills. Of course, I always tried to learn and pay attention and keep up with culture, and, you know, just in general try to have knowledge. But I think if we could just make it to where, like, at least you can make a living, like at least you have a starting point in life. Because most kids give everything up, they go, and like the average career I feel like is maybe 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids are getting a ride, coming in and not getting results right away, and they're out. So I do think there's more money than ever, and I think we just got to keep going. I think we just got to keep growing it and making decisions. I sat down with Dave Prater, VP of Supercross.
Yeah. That was cool.
Did that podcast with him before Charlotte. He was great, and even talking to him behind the scenes, a really smart dude.
I wish he'd spend more time in public.
Yeah, exactly. Very reasonable. A lot of thoughtfulness. A lot of time is spent going into some of these decisions that everybody hears about. So I do think it was cool to have him on there and give him a bit of a platform to kind of explain himself, right? But I really do think, and I'm not just saying this, I really do think that Dave is perfect for where we're at right now. And I think what we're going to see in the next 5 years, like with Hayden, it's crazy, man. You go to a Supercross race now, he could be in 12th place.
And
fans are following around the
stadium.
entire track.
Yeah.
Like, that brand is going to do so much for the sport. We have Jett, of course. I think, and sometimes me getting so far detached from amateur racing, you stop to, you don't know the guys' names, right? But like, I went to Loretta's this year. There used to be gaps. Like, I could win by 20 seconds, or Cooper Webb can win by 20 seconds, or that. Everybody is so close.
Really?
So close. And it's not because, I don't think it's because there's not one standout guy.
Yeah, they're all standout
everything
guys.
is so transparent now. Most of those kids are probably riding together at some facility in Florida or Georgia or wherever. The level is only going up. And I think it can seem, when we watch these dominant rides by Jett or Hayden, sometimes during the week you can be kind of scratching your head thinking, is this what we're going to watch for the next 10 years? Is it going to be boring? I just think it never works out like that.
You know? The funny thing, though, is and this is what I say to people, is like the sport had its most extreme growth during Jeremy McGrath era.
Yeah.
So the hardcore fans, we kind of don't want to see just that domination and one guy winning every weekend, but I feel like the mainstream does, in a way, because it's like it's always, the sport always grows and you look at golf, when did it grow the most?
Tiger.
So it's like, as much as the fans want to see like quote unquote great racing, I feel like when you have people that come along that just obliterate the field for years on years, it does do something to like grow the sport. It's a very weird feeling, but then you get like the pushback of the people that in the industry, like people don't want Jett to go on that kind of run internally, but it's like, if you look at history, they're the kind of runs, and you celebrate them after. So everyone,
people love greatness.
Yeah, and McGrath was weird because it didn't really feel like people were pushing back against his dominance. But I think you see his dominance, and then you see Ricky's dominance, and that like then the people in the industry are like, "Fuck, not again!" Like,
totally.
Just let us see some good racing every single weekend.
I think, you're completely right. I think it takes, to transcend the sport, it takes somebody you can, to a degree anyway. I think Ricky definitely embraced it to a certain extent. Like you always see clips of him on Leno with MC back in the day, right? I'm not going to say that RC didn't do, I mean, he did an unbelievable amount of things for dirt bikes, but I would say his main focus was winning races, right? It wasn't like 50-50.
It took him so much to win races.
It took him everything. I mean, you have to sacrifice. He literally
gave everything.
Everything you have, and so much respect for that. And to completely transcend the sport, you have somebody like Hayden, somebody that is winning, that has, his situation with Brian and just everything he's about. He's got a good infrastructure kind of for his brand. Somebody that's dominant and that is willing to embrace that side of things. Like for me, I always wanted to get to a place where if I was able to win more consistently, I had what I needed off the bike to transcend it, right? But I did not win enough. It takes somebody that is more dominant, or at least consistently up there battling for championships, and somebody embracing kind of the media side of things to truly transcend the sport. And I think that's what we're going to get with, I think more so Hayden right now.
I think so too.
He's more, he more plays into it. He's great TV. I mean, every time you have him on, every time he's on the podium, I mean, it could be after, even on Race Day Live, like it could be after qualifying. Like you just know he's going to be himself, and I think that's great. Jett is, of course, dominant. Doesn't seem as into that. He's more of the kind of the RC, solely focused on winning a little bit. They pulled back this year, big time. It's just a lot. I mean, I probably would too. You want to shield him. I mean, he's, what is he, 20, 21 years old? So, but I think it takes both. And I think that's what we have with Hayden. Absolutely.
I thought we were going to get that with Jett. I thought we were going to get it.
We still might.
But I think, I just think they really pulled back a lot this year with media and with doing those things, which I think is a massive shame. But I also get it, man. Like, to be boots on the ground and, like, in the middle of all the shit that he went through at the start of the year, like, bro, A2.
Yeah, the world was coming down, caving in on him.
That was hectic, dude. And I was sitting in the stands, and Anna was next to me, and she was like filming the opening ceremonies, and I'm like on the video, and I'm like, he's gonna get booed. Watch this, because I knew that if they didn't change that fucking walkout with the boxing, I was like, dude, this is not gonna go down well right now. And he came out and he got booed by the entire stadium. I think that was a bit of a turning point for them. Like, I really feel like you saw things really scale back and close down, and I can't sit here and say that I blame him for it, because I have to deal with that stuff sometimes, and it fucking sucks.
I will say that Jett's biggest strength, absolutely his biggest strength, is that kind of carefree demeanor that he carries. I've said it on the broadcast. But any moment, like any big moment, even Saturday in Vegas, big moment, into Supercross, trying to kind of wrap up that title, big moment when Webb was kind of coming.
Dude, he
you know,
did
the
not
Webb
have
had
it
the
easy.
momentum,
Yep.
and it was all going his way, and everybody thought, okay, Coop's going to do what he normally does, and Jett was just, I mean, locked in. Starts every lap clean, 0 mistakes, like just locks in. And that kind of kid energy that he carries around, even just talking with him a little bit before races, and just, I'm observant. I pay attention, especially this year. If anything, it was like I was scouting for my job, my job in broadcasting. I wasn't doing a whole lot out there.
Behind there.
Yeah,
like,
so I was kind of trying to talk to different people and try to get a lay of the land a bit more than I normally would kind of do my own thing. But he never lets a moment, like he just never lets it get to him. And I think that is so important for long-term success. He's just not, I don't think he carries around that. I don't want to discredit him at all. I know it's a lot regardless.
It's almost a skill though.
It is a skill.
So you're almost complimenting a skill he has.
Yeah. And I always, people have talked about this in golf. I forget who had the quote, a player, it might have been Schauffele, where he's like, you have to care enough about this to do everything that you have to do, all the work you have to do for, hours and hours of hitting balls and, laying in bed thinking about this, thinking about that. And then on Sundays, you have to convince yourself you don't care at all. And I could never do that. I always cared so much. I was like too aware of that. And that's what I see in Jett that is so dang cool to me, is that it's always seems like it's something that he just likes to be doing.
Yeah. Did you see him at all on the weekend before the race?
I saw him at the press conference.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Dude, I saw him right before the night show. So we were at the Lawrence thing, and then he walked back, and I gave him a little high five and a little good luck. Fully in the zone. I walked away.
Really?
Oh, dude, I knew he was gonna win just from it.
Oh yeah, I think we all figured
it was crazy to see the level that he was like so zoned in.
And the more times you get it done like that, once you get the ball rolling, once you know you're the guy that locks in and gets it done, it's only going to get easier for him to do that.
Yeah,
he really already has the narrative that he gets it done in these moments.
Yeah.
So it's creating a monster. Same thing with Hayden.
Yeah.
They lock in and they get it done.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.